to study finite element analysis. Just a recall. So it's been a long time. So let me recall you the subject. What is finite element analysis? So as I told you earlier, FEA is one of the important topic that you need to study, and it is very essential for a mechanical engineer. Whatever we study, first thing we need to know what is the application of the subject and what is the use of studying this subject or studying this topic or whatever it may be. You need to know that. So first thing, what is finite element analysis? So let me tell you. Finite element analysis is a method to determine the stresses and deformation occurs in a particular component. Not only stresses and deformations, but it is you it is used in most of the cases. We can able to calculate the heat transfer. We can see it later, but mainly it is one of the most used method to determine the stresses and the deformations before a component will be manufactured. So let me tell you a definition of a FEA. It is a numerical technique for finding approximate solution to boundary value problems for partial differential equations. So before getting to this definition, I will explain you what is how it comes from. So initially, finite element analysis has found in 1940s. So initially what they have done is they have created a prototype. They have created a prototype for a particular object, and that prototype is used to test to the according environmental conditions. So what is the difficulty in testing the prototypes are, once the prototype has been tested, it will be broke down. So if it is failed, what you have to do is you have to make a prototype again and you have to test. You will have to test again. So it is a time consuming process. So initially what they have done is they have made a prototype and they have tested to the academic environmental conditions, and after that they have used some numerical methods, some mathematical equations and calculations to determine the testing conditions, and it is also a time consuming process. It takes at most 3 to 6 months. Finally they will come with a solution called FEA, finite element analysis. Here what they will do is they will they will convert the given object into nodes and elements. We'll discuss what is node and what is element later. We have convert the given object into nodes and elements, and it will be tested. FEM is one of the most adopted technique nowadays. And the next thing, FEM is a method for dividing up a very complicated problem into small elements that can be solved in relation to each other. Third one, it will be used for complicated geometries. We can able to write an equation, a geometrical equation for a standard object is very easy, but for a complicated object it is very difficult to write an equation. That's why we adopt this finite element method. So we need to know the material properties, material temperature conditions to solve these type of problems. So how it works? So as I told you earlier, it uses a system of points. It uses a system of points called nodes which make a grid called a mesh. So meshing, so it is like a software. Are you aware of the software named ANSYS, which is the most used software? ANSYS is a company name. It is a FEA simulation software, right? It uses a complex system of points called nodes. So nodes is nothing but points. We can able to convert the given element into convenient number of nodes and elements. An art of subdividing a structure into convenient number of nodes and element. This process is called discretization. It is the first step in finite element analysis. And this mesh is programmed to contain the material and structural properties which define how the structure will react to certain loading conditions. After the mesh, after you have converted the given object into a particular nodes and elements, you have to define the material properties. For example, for example, you need to choose whether it is a steel or cast iron. For steel, what is the Young's modulus, what is the Poisson's ratio, and what is the tensile strength, and what is the uh, yield strength. Everything you have to give to the software to the particular load condition so that we can able to calculate the stress strain later. So how the nodes have been given to the object. So nodes for a standard object. Standard means a simple object. For example, a cube, or example a rectangular element or triangular element. For example, a pyramid. For a simple object, we have, for example, if we can take a cube, it will have 6 corners. So we will have 6 nodal points. So if you apply a load on the cube in the x-axis, the deformation occurs at the nodal points. So we need to assume where the deformations will be high. We need to check. We need to assume where the deformations will be high. So according to the highest deformations, the nodes will be prepared. So where the highest deformation occurs, the highest nodes will be prepared, where the regions will receive smaller amount of stress, will have a less number of nodes. The basic highly receivable amount of stressed points are fillets, corners, and the loaded areas. So next one, what are the types of engineering analysis? So we have basically large number of analysis are there. Here we are going to look out only three types of analysis. First one will be structural analysis. This is very important in construction area and production or manufacturing of a mechanical component. The structural analysis, simply it is used to find out the stress and the strain and deformation and velocity, not velocity, stress, strain can be calculated with this structural analysis. It is the most important analysis. It consists of linear and non-linear models. So in the linear models, the material is not plastically deformed. It is not, the difference between plastic and elastic. If it is elastic, it will regain to its original position, and if it's plastic, once it's deformed, it will not come into its original position. So it's not. It will have two types of models. First one will be linear models. When the force will be applied, it will get into a plastic position, and it will not be come into its original position again. That is called linear model. And non-linear model consists of a stressing material. It has an elastic capabilities. It will come into it. It will come back into its original position. Next, second analysis will be the vibrational analysis. So what is a vibration? We know that vibration of three types. First one will be longitudinal vibration, second one will be transverse vibration, and the third one will be torsional vibration. So if a body will move in up and down direction, it will leads to a longitudinal vibration. And if a body will move like a pendulum, I mean like a cantilever beam, it is called transverse vibration. And if a shaft rotates, then the vibration occurs at the shaft is called torsional vibration. So why this vibration analysis is carried out on a particular object? when you are running a machine, for example, a bike or car, at what extreme it will withstand the vibration. For example, the shock. For example, when you're going in a road and you have a speed breaker, and your car is going to cross the speed breaker, and uh, it has to be the shock absorber job to control the car. So, what is the capacity of shock absorber to control the car? That is called vibration. This vibration takes a major role in every manufacturing mechanical product. This is called vibrational analysis. And the third one will be fatigue analysis. You know that what is fatigue? Fatigue is nothing but the stress will be given to a particular material cyclically. What is that cyclically? The cyclic loading will be given to the object because the load may occur. You know the difference between the compressive stress and tensile stress. I think you know that. The compressive stress is the stress along the x direction. Both the compressive and tensile stress is acting along the x direction, but the force is acting in opposite direction. That is called compressive stress. The force acting in opposite direction. I mean the force acting outwards the object in opposite direction we make the compressive stress, and the force makes towards the object in opposite direction will make the tensile stress. So here the compressive and the tensile stress will be given to the object cyclically. So according to the conditions, what will be the effect? So from this cyclic testing, we can able to analyze the life of the material. That is very important of the fatigue analysis. We can able to analyze the life of the material. And then fourth one will be heat transfer analysis. This is nothing but we can able to analyze the temperature conditions, I mean flow conditions. So whether it can withstand the particular temperature or not, that we can able to calculate with the help of this heat transfer analysis. So how it helps the design engineer? FEM. So for a simple object, as I told you earlier, for a simple object we can able to solve it very easily. But for a complex and irregular shapes, we need to use this FEM concept to solve these problems. And it is applicable for steady state and time dependent and eigenvalue problems. And like structural problems, it will be used for linear and non-linear problems. I mean elasticity and plasticity problems. And one method can solve variety of problems, including solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, chemical reactions, electromagnetics, and biomechanics. So, if you formulate, I mean, if you create a node and element for a particular object, and you have created a mesh, and that formulation will be used for several type of problems. That from the mesh you can calculate even structural analysis, fatigue analysis, or fluid mechanical analysis, or heat transfer analysis. Whatever the analysis you can do with the simple particular mesh. And how it helps the organization, mainly we can say that it reduces the time, because time is very important for our organization. So it reduces the time of testing, and reduce the cost. It is very important, as you know that a company spends more amount of money in design because design is very important in a particular company. If your design is failure, the entire process will be failure. So a better company will spend more of the money in design and research, and it identify the designs before tooling is committed, and optimize performance before prototyping. Because with this firm, what you can do is you can able to check whether the object matches with the environmental conditions or not, and what will what is the stress created, and where the stress will be created more, and what is the remedy option we can do for the highest stresses area. So from this we can able to calculate, and these are the steps, important steps is to be followed in FEA. First will be the discretization. It is the most important steps because it is it is nothing but subdividing a structure into convenient number of nodes and element. We can able to split this object into four types of element: one dimensional element, two dimensional element, three dimensional element, and axis symmetric element. And second most important point is you have to number after you just subdividing a structure into convenient number of elements, you have to number them. For example, 1 2 3 4, like that you have to number it. So the numbering procedure is also there. We will see it in the next class. And the next important point is selection of approximation of functions. We have to create a polynomial function for the particular object, whether it may be a normal function or polynomial function. And third step, we have to check the material behavior. For example, what is the stress and what is the strain. I mean, you have chosen an object, a steel or cast iron or some other uh, aluminum or copper, or it may be any material. For a particular material, you know the stress value and strain value, how it occurs to the simple conditions. So you know the material behavior. After that, what you can do is you can formulate a stiffness matrix for a particular element. We have splitted a number of elements. You have nodes and elements. If you have a 10 number of nodes and a 6 number of elements, you have 6 number of elements. You will have 6 number of elemental stiffness matrix. You have to create a stiffness matrix for each element. And after creating 6 elements, you have to combine them to make a total stiffness matrix. Total stiffness matrix, and we have to create the loading conditions, I mean the boundary conditions. What are the load that may occur in the particular object? The load may occur in three directions, and you will have three different forces at three different angles. And what are they? And that we have to write it out, and we have to make the total global stiffness matrix with the help of the equation called F is equal to K into U, that we can already studied in the class. This is the creation of global stiffness matrix, and we have to apply the boundary conditions. So boundary condition is nothing but where it is fixed and where the stress value will be zero according to the given structural conditions. Where will be the stress will be zero, where the stress will be created, and what is your aim, what you have to find out. If you want to find out the value of deformation or stress or strain or mm, or it may be deformation or stress or strain, or it may be temperature, and according to that you have to write the equation. And finally you have to find out the unknown values, unknown displacements. I mean, what is your unknown value, temperature or stress. You have to find out the temperature, and from that you have to find out the value of stress and strains. So these are the three stages of FEA. First one will be pre-processing, second one will be solution, and third one will be post-processing. Pre-processing, pre-processing is consist of the three steps. I mean, the first important step is discretization. The discretization, last you have to convert the given object into convenient number of element and the nodes. And the second thing, you have to number the nodes and you have to create an approximate equation. I mean, a polynomial equation or a normal equation, you have to write it out. That is called a pre-processing. And after that, you have created a stiffness matrix and you have know the stress behavior, strain behavior of the material. And after that, you have created an elemental stiffness matrix. And after that, you have created, have combined the elemental stiffness matrix into a global stiffness matrix. And you have applied the boundary conditions, that is and you have found out the unknown nodal displacement and the stress and strains. This is called the solution. And after that, the third important phase is post processing. You have find out the value of stress and strain, and you have to display the values in the you have to display the values in graphical form, or else like a bar chart, or else a graph, or else a numerical values. So you can able to display the results in a different manner by coloring them. So there are a lot of options are there to display the results. So by pre-processing is nothing but you have given the initial work. I mean, discretization, numbering, and assigning a equation, that is called a pre-processing. Solution is nothing but you have to assemble everything and you have to apply the boundary conditions and you have to find out the value of unknown displacements. Post processing, it is it is it is nothing but you have to display the results that you have calculated. And finally, advantages. So advantages, we can able to handle the complex geometry. We can able to do different types of analysis like vibration, heat transfer, and we can able to handle the complex loading like nodal based loading and the element based loading and time dependent loading. We can be able to handle the complex restraints, can handle bodies and special material effects. So these are the advantages of FEA. And disadvantages, you need to know the specific numerical result is obtained for a specific problem. So a result will be applied, result will be calculated for a particular problem. I mean, if you are applying a load of 50 kilonewton at the sixth nodal point, and the result will be calculated because the stress will be calculated because of this 50 kilonewton load. It is not a common procedure to find out the solution. It is the solution for a particular problem. That is the disadvantage of this FEA. And main other disadvantages are that it is applied to the approximation of mathematical model of a system, and experience and judgment are needed in order to if you want to create a FEA model, you need to have an experience of creating a structure, or you need to assume where the for example, you need to have a mechanical knowledge to know where the stress will occur and where the highest stress will occur. According to that, the nodes and elements will be created, because the higher nodes and elements will be created, you will get the higher results. Higher accurate results. the element, the node will increase, the accuracy will increase. But if you increase the element and node, it will take time to solve the problem. So you need to increase the nodes in the element in the place where the high stress occurs. For need to know this, you need to have the knowledge where the stress will occur, and numerical errors may occur, and boundary conditions. These are the disadvantages of FEA. Some of the software packages. ANSYS, as you know that, it is the important software, simulation software, and an Astron, Patron, NISA, LS Dyna, Hypermesh, CATIA, Pro E, SolidWorks, and Cosmos. Cosmos is latest software, and all other softwares are already used in different places. And thank you for your time.